So I wrote it all out. I was going to read it, but since we're going back and forth like this, it'll make that very awkward. I want everyone to close your eyes if you trust the people next to you. And I want you to imagine what I'm talking about. Can everyone hear me okay, by the way? All the way back? So you're visiting a foreign land with your friends, your family, only they got on one train going north and you got on another train going east. Bad news, the bag that has your wallet, your phone, all your communication devices went with them. You get out of the train, nobody understands you, and you don't understand anyone. You don't have any money to get back on the train, and if you did, you couldn't tell anybody where you wanted to go. You spend a little time at the train station. People look at you. Strangers try to scoot you away. Some jerk-off throws something at you. So finally, you kind of meander away from the train station because now you're getting hungry and thirsty. Maybe you drink something in a puddle. You don't know what's in that. Someone hits you with their car without thinking a dog is crossing the street. You limp away when they try to help because you don't trust them. A day or two, you see an official in an official truck pull up in a uniform. They spot you, they get out, they come towards you, but you can smell the mistrust on them, the fear. You don't trust that. So you avoid them. They try to lasso you with a rope around your neck. That doesn't work. So they go back to the truck and you think, I ditched that one. But they come back with a pole about 6 foot long, cable, loop on one side, another cable coming out the other end, looks like a tail. All of a sudden they got treats. They try to lull you in with some tasty morsels. You're hungry, you're tired, and you're worn out and you're hurting. So you go and you bend down. They bend down. They talk sweet and gentle to you. You're about to pick up that morsel and all of a sudden that cable goes around your neck and tightens. It rips, it burns, it tears. You get manhandled in the back of a truck. The gates slam shut. 10 minutes later, you're at a concrete building with glass doors. They escort you in. A vet tech puts a string around your mouth to muzzle you, picks you up on a table, prods you, pokes you, examines you. Well, you weren't happy about all this. So during that time, you lashed out a little bit. You protested a lot. You screamed. You fought back to try to get loose. It's not so good for you because they march you to a row of kennels where there's a bunch of others that do speak your language that are either warning you or welcoming you. It's loud. It's deafening. It smells like defecation and death. And you don't know anyone there. And all you can hope for is your friends and family somehow find you. Unfortunately, you get put into a kennel, which is no bigger than your smallest walk-in closet. They put a card on the outside that has your name and a 6 or 7 digit ID number. And they give you a name. Maybe they call you Brad Pitbull. Or, I don't know, Clyde. It's not your name. You don't have a microchip, so no one's looking you up. No one's going to find you. Welcome to a municipal shelter. Eat what we give you, defecate on the floor, you're there until you're not. Maybe you'll be lucky and someone will pick you and you'll walk out the front door. And maybe you won't be lucky, and unfortunately, you will be wheeled out the back. Now, I didn't tell you this story to beat you up or educate you. And all the shelter volunteers and all the volunteers here and all the staff members, they could all tell the same story and they could continue the story on and on. That's not what's important. What is important is that maybe the story convinces two of you to foster. Maybe it convinces a few of you to tell some of your friends, hey, don't purchase, but adopt. Maybe a couple of you say, I'm thinking about volunteering because I want to help that creature that may be misunderstood. Or maybe some of you dig a little deeper tonight and support FOLBA and the work that they do. If you don't know what they do, they help animals in the community stay in their homes. They help animals at the shelter who are injured or wounded. And there's one other thing that's in these notes that they do that I can't think of right now. But they'll tell you. Anyway, there's not a dog in the shelter system that I know of that is there from their own fault. It's always, or almost always, the human's fault. Whether they're surrendered or dumped, or they weren't trained, or they were set up for failure, that's why they're there. And it only takes one unthinking, unfeeling, unempathetic person to put a dog or cat or chicken or horse or whatever into an animal shelter. But it often takes an army just to get one out. So, my friend Vinny here is the four-legged one. He's a FOLBA benefit. Canine Kismet rescued him. And he's going to help tell me a story, which I like to close when I do these things. So the story is a starfish story. And it was a whole short story in a book that's like 17 pages, but it's really boiled down to a few sentences. There's an old guy walking down the beach, looks a lot like me, thinks he knows everything, he's jaded. Up ahead he sees a ton of starfish on the beach and a little child walking from the starfish to the water and back to the starfish. When he gets closer to the child, he starts laughing. And he says to the kid, "What are you doing? And you're never going to make a difference. There's thousands of starfish. You are never, ever going to make a difference." The little kid ignores him, goes, picks up another starfish, walks to the water's edge and throws the starfish in and says, "Well, it made a difference to that one." Well, it made a difference to that one. And you can make a difference to the next one and the next one. So use whatever skills, resources, communication, your networks, whatever you can, your time to help make a difference to the next one. Thank you.